All right, this is going to be a quick video for section 9.4, which was assignment 5, page 352, 2 through 10. I've already worked it out here, and I'm just going to explain it. I'll probably explain like the first 4 or 5 problems, and then you can just work from there and check your answers to make sure you're doing everything correctly. So 2 formulas: your annual base premium and your annual premium. Your annual base premium is your liability premium plus the collision premium plus the comprehensive premium. You get that number, and I'm going to explain how to get them here in a minute. So you add all those up and you get that number, and then for your annual premium, you take your annual base that you got from the first answer and you times it by your driver rating, which is whatever they tell you your driver rating is. So looking at this, if we're looking at this first one, it says Pierce has a 1.30 driver rating, so I wrote that in right here. And they give you this information in different orders every time. You just have to know where it goes in the 2 formulas. And his age of his car, his car group, the age group for his car is A14. So if we go on here, A14, A14, we're going to use this chart for all these problems. We go A14 over, that's 322 for collision, and A14 is 127 on the chart down here for comprehensive. So 322 for collision, 127 for comprehensive. Then the other thing that they tell us in the problem is that he wants 5,100 bodily injury and 25,000 property damage, and that's on his liability up here. So 5,100 bodily injury. We go over to the 5,100, and it said 25,000. So here, and we just match that up, and that's 309. So his liability premium is 309. We take those 3 numbers, 309 plus 322 plus 127. We add them all up, and we get 758. Then that answer is going to go right here. That's his annual base premium. And we're going to take that answer that we have in our calculator times his driver rating, which is 1.3. So we just times that by 1.30, and we end up with 985.4. So $985. And remember to add that last zero, 40 cents. So again, this is his annual base premium. This is what his annual premium is actually going to be for a year, what he's actually going to pay for a year. Number 3 says Danielle has a driver rating factor of 1.6. So that's telling us the second part. That's what we're going to use, 1.6, once we find the base for number 3. And her car is in age group D12. So we come over here, D, go over to 12. So that's going to be 240 for collision, 86 for comprehensive. So 240 and 86. We're going to add those 2 together. And then they also say that she wants 100 and 300 bodily injury and $50,000 property damage. So we go back to the chart here, 100 and 300. Go over to there. $50,000. I believe that's what they said, 50,000. Yep. Property damage. So we go down to 50,000. That's 383. That's that third number there. We're going to add all 3 of those up. When I added all 3 of them up, I got 709. So that's her base premium. And they said her driver rating was a 1.6. So we take that 709 times 1.6, and we end up with how much she's going to pay per year is $1,134.40. Number 5 Says Jill uses her vehicle primarily for pleasure. She has 100, 300 bodily injury and 50,000 property damage. So 100, 300, 50,000. That's 383. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped number 4. So on number 4, it says Marcy uses her vehicle primarily for pleasure. She has 100, 200 bodily injury and $25,000 property damage. So 100, 200, and 25,000. That's 365. So 365 right there. And then it says her vehicle is classified as a D14. So we look at the bottom down here. D14 is right here. It's going to be 277 for collision. D14 is 110 for comprehensive. So 277 and 110, I add all three of those up and I get 752. And it says she has an excellent driving record. Her driver rating is a 1.0. What that means when it's a 1.0 is that they're just going to charge you whatever your base is. So it's just 752 times 1.0, which gives you 752. So her base premium and her annual premium are actually the same thing. So if you're a really good driver and have nothing on your driving record, your base premium and your annual premium will be basically the same thing. Now, probably not for you guys because of the age group you're in. Your driver rating is probably not going to be a 1.0. You have to be a little older, and then maybe they can put you in that. Next one, number 5, Jill Wilson uses her vehicle primarily for pleasure. She has 100, 300 bodily injury and 50,000 property damage. So if I look on here, 100, 300, 50,000, that's 383. So that's my first number here. And then it says that her car is classified as a A14. So A14, 322 for collision. A14, 127. 322 and 127. I add all those up. And again, they say that her driving record is good. So her driver rating is a 1.0. So her base salary, her base premium and her annual premium are going to be the same thing. Number 6, Samuel Haskins uses his minivan primarily for his delivery business. He has 100, 300 bodily injury and $100,000 property damage. So we look on the chart and it said 100, 300, and 100,000. So that means his liability premium is going to be $394. And then it says that his car is A15. So if we look at A15, that's 343 for collision. A15, 142 for comprehensive. So 343, 142. We add all those up and we get 879. And you'll notice for his driver rating, it's 3.55. That's a high driver rating because he uses it for his business. So if 879 times, and we use a driver rating of 3.55, so we just times that by 3.55, we end up with 3,120 and 45 cents. So notice that his annual premium is very high because he's using his vehicle for his business. So he's driving it a lot. Number 7, Ruby uses her sports car mainly for pleasure. She has 100, 200 bodily injury and $100,000 property damage. So we go back on here, 100, 200, and 100,000. That's 386. So that's her liability premium for the year, $386. And then her car is a B15. So B15 is $325 and B15 is $134. So $325 and $134. We add all those up. And then they tell us that her driver rating is a 2.65. So we multiply those to the 845 and the 2.65, and we get her annual premium is going to be $2,239.25. Number 8, 9, and 10, I'm not going to explain them all, but we got $437 for the liability, $325 for collision, $134 for comprehensive. Base premium was $896. Said that the driver rating, because again they use their car for business, was a 3.35. We multiply those two together, and total annual premiums $3,001.60. Number 9, I got these numbers when I looked them up on the chart. $383 for liability, $310 for collision, $129 for comprehensive, total of $822. Driver rating was 2.15. Multiply those, and we get the annual premium of $67.30. And then number 10, same thing. The two answers I got, $761 and $2,359.10. So check your answers there. Make sure you're doing them correctly. If you have questions, feel free to get a hold of me.